Hello, job seekers. Melanie here with CGL Recruiting. I am very excited today to have Roxanne joining us, who is going to be talking with us about a great new tool that you can utilize not only for your job search, but for any of you that have any kind of portfolio. There are so many things that she is about to share with us about a great new system called Behance. So remember, if you haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment to do that now, as it does help our channel. And we're going to give you an overview of Behance today. So if you have questions on this system, please feel free to put them in the comments down below. And that way we can make sure that we respond to each and every one and get you the information and data that you need. Okay, let me go ahead at this point in time and introduce you to Roxanne. And Roxanne, you and I actually met at a network, gosh, we met at a networking event first. I can't even remember. It's been a while now, but Roxanne is a graphics design individual. She is currently a job seeker, and she and I were talking about a great tool that she has found, which is Behance. So Roxanne, can you kind of explain a little bit about who you are and maybe even how you came across Behance?
Sure, Miss Melanie. My name is Roxanne, as we said. I'm a public relations professional, and I'm also a job seeker like you. My background is mostly in technical PR, but I also had to learn graphic design software such as Illustrator. And I discovered Behance probably about 5 years ago, and I showcased a lot of my information, interests, and really just projects that I did, mostly from academics to internships. And it really was an added feature to my LinkedIn as well. And I would recommend doing the how to add a feature to your LinkedIn video that Ms. Woods has given out, and how to do the LinkedIn banner, because both of those will really help you. So what is Behance to start out with? It is a free Adobe software that you're already using, because chances are you've used a PDF before. And this is a platform really for creatives. So you don't have to be an actual creative person to do it. It's anyone who has like something in their portfolio that they want to show off. So you could be an engineer with a patent. You could be an Etsy business owner. You could be someone who's a student, or even a photojournalist, architect. It doesn't matter. The point is that you're using a software and you're having a visual story to tell regarding your capabilities, skill sets, and what you can do for a company.
It's really cool. It lets you share that visual portfolio with the world in such a beautiful format. And so when people go out and they're looking at your portfolio, it's just so attractive when they're looking in at all of the different things that they see of the photos. So I find it's a portfolio on steroids, because it's just catches your attention, which is so wonderful. Would you like, why don't we go ahead and you can still please explain. Let me go ahead and share on our screen here now your Behance, so we can kind of take a look a little bit as you're talking at how beautiful it is. Okay, here we go. There it is.
So this is going to be your main web page that you're going to go at behance.net. Since I'm already signed in, you can also do a sign up. It's very easy. You do have to make an Adobe ID, but it's just another sign in essentially. So here is mine. I use the same photo that I have for LinkedIn across all of my social media platforms, and I'll also show you the banner. So when you're first doing a basic information profile, I put my name, the occupation, since I'm a public relations professional, that's kind of a catch-all. This is the area that I like to be in, is Houston. And this part is really neat. So when it says on the web, you can actually put all of your social media platforms. So I just chose to do LinkedIn and Twitter in my case, and you just take the URL and copy and paste it. But the nice thing is when you have like these 3 horizontal lines, you can actually switch which ones you want to do, although it's not letting me. So there's that. I mean, go figure, technology. But that's what it's supposed to do. So what's neat though is I chose to section off, and you can create any sort of section that you want. If you had a specific time in your life that you worked at X company and you just only want to show off that information, you can. And what's neat is on when they say for these sections, I chose to put the years of like my education in relation to my skill sets. So this is what I chose to do. And then you can add your work experience. I choose to keep mine predominantly on LinkedIn, but unless it's with a visual portfolio need. So down here, when it has web references, I like these a lot because you're all over the internet anyway, and the internet never dies. So you may as well use whatever is good out there about yourself, right? So I chose to put the years. You don't have to, but these are all of my honorable mentions and all of the interviews that I did as a photojournalist that had me listed everywhere, and I put the URLs as well. So, and there we go. See, it moves. I told you. When you have the 3 lines, you can move in any sort of direction that you want, up or down. And so as you keep going farther along, you'll notice it does sort of a repeat of your other sections. So that's kind of your basic profile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my Behance profile of my work just to give you an idea of what your profile actually looks like. So again, I kept the same image of myself from my LinkedIn. And once this background loads, you'll see it's my banner from also the LinkedIn that I did, just to keep it all consistent. And you can edit your profile. Here's some of your analytics. So I've had more than 1,000 project views. Okay, here's my banner that I have. So this is all of your work, and it keeps just kind of, I'm going to sort of scroll through this really quickly. But I have all of the ones that I did as a photojournalist, and then down here is where I had my graphic design projects.
What I love about this, Roxanne, and I'm sorry, I know we're getting a little bit of feedback on this video. You have a consistent job seeker brand. So whether somebody goes and looks at you on LinkedIn, or they look at you on Behance or so many other places, they're seeing the same consistent brand. And each one of these platforms, it gives you the opportunity to provide more, like kind of rounding you out even further. Because while Behance is so visual and they get to see so much of your portfolio and your work in a visual format, when you are on LinkedIn, it only lets you feature really 2 things that it shows. And then the rest you can kind of, attach in, but you don't get this breadth of visual representation. And if you're in, any kind of public relations, marketing communications, engineering, architecture, this is brilliant for those type of things.
Absolutely. And what's neat is that when I told you about like the basic information, it's essentially a table of contents, which is this entire far left banner. So you can see that somebody I've had over 1,000 project views. Some people have appreciated. I've got 7 followers and I'm following 17. And these were all the website links that I mentioned. And so like if I just clicked on one of them, it should bring you to where I was. So you see, there's my name, this is what I did, this was the date, and this was a complete interview that I gave somebody. And so that's just kind of chosen to do and post all of my stuff online. So as you can see, it just keeps going farther down. And right here, you got read more. I kind of fleshed it out all in depth. I took these kind of brief summaries and I repeated them. The biggest thing you can do for yourself is being, as Ms. Melanie said, consistent in whatever messaging you're doing. So let's take, for example, this one. This is a work that I did. So I want to show 3 points to this. I have a basic formula. I give a brief summary, a little bit more in depth than I would to a resume bullet point, if you will. So my main interest is putting dates, if there are any quantitative information, and sort of why it matters. Yeah, like what's it going to do for you? So you can link everything here, but I left these two up here to show you what can happen with the internet, even though I say things never die. If you have something online and it's with a newspaper, they archive to a point. So they'll archive for like maybe a year or so. Otherwise, it'll do something like this, which I left this up here just to show you as an example of what not to do and to improve upon. So sometimes when they don't have it in the newsroom, this is why in journalism you have a clipbook. You keep all of your newspaper clippings so you can scan them in as further proof. So right here, the item no longer exists because it's been a while, this particular example. And the nice thing though is when it was on the district website, I just made it go to the 2014, 2015, so that was the year I did it, newsroom. So it just depends if the area that you have has the newsroom for the listing or not. So right here, it'll load, and you'll see that my piece is already saved there. So that's just kind of a double example of like, you know, keeping up with your hyperlinks essentially. So the next part of my formula is I gave a simple title up here. I gave in the summary that I told you, the linking to where it is on the internet, and then I take a screenshot of the entire page and where it was listed on the website. And then you keep scrolling down. And here we go. So I own this. This is, again, the same sort of summary up at the front that's going to be on my table of contents. And then here are the tools that I used. In this case, I did predominantly photography and writing. So I listed the camera I did, and these are sort of like your taglines or your hashtags that you have. So it was just, you can't really do more than 4 or 5, I believe, for your taglines. So make them count. And it'll just be like a basic Google search with you, or if I just want to find it quickly in your profile and I don't remember what you did, but I know it had something to do with cows, then I could find it very quickly on your profile. So with that in mind, I'm just going to show you, let's see. I'm going to go back to my profile, and I'm going to know how to put your work. So here's your work here that'll display on your portfolio. And then the insights are really neat. I want to show you that first. The insights are more in depth to your analytics.
And I do want to make sure everybody knows that I know the system is taking a little bit of time to load, but that's just because, you know, everybody's remote and we're trying to stream from 2 different locations and also pull up her Behance at the same time into the studio. So it is a lot faster than this when you get out onto Behance. So don't let that be a reason that you don't go out and check it out, because it is very, very impactful of what it can do for your job search.
It's very user friendly, and these are like, since I started, like that's why it says of all time. So I've had 123 views, appreciations, etc. Ones that I've received are the ones that people have looked at, but these are the ones that I have done. And then this is just for this month only. So that's kind of the example I wanted to give you real briefly. So you're going to click over here. It says create a project, and it'll be listed anywhere on the right-hand side once you get started. So this is what your beginning project looks like. And if you want to just do screenshots of everything that you've done and just kind of create it with a tile with text, then that's an example to do it as well. So here's one example. I click an image from my computer that I want to save to, and I go straight to it. Here's an example.
There it goes.
I know, it froze up on me. Okay, so here's just a simple picture of a rose. And let's say that this is my project. I can add text. So there you have it. And when I click this little pencil up here, I can reorder this project. So let's say I want to put the text above the image. I can. And remember, it's these 3 lines that look like a paragraph. So then you could be like, save new order. So that's one example. I can add tags here, like red. And I can add rose. I can add. So, and I could just keep going, and that'll be what it shows toward the end of the project. And the photo grid is really like if I had 20 pictures and I just wanted to make it look like a gallery. So that way it'd be easier for somebody to just scroll through.
Okay, so Roxanne, so you've been showing us a lot of how to go in there and add one in. I know one of the other features that you can actually do is you can go out to YouTube. Can you talk to us a little bit in how you can link that into your Behance profile as well?
Yes. So the single quotation embed, once you click it, if you go up to YouTube properly, you'll click where it says share. And when you click share, you have to click on the same embed word with the single quotation marks,
Right.
because that's the code that you need to copy and paste. If you just copy and paste like the URL or anything else, it's not going to load properly. And that's where you embed a video. It could be YouTube, it could be something on Facebook, it could be any of these examples where it shares with you. So like these are the most common: YouTube, Vimeo, Spotify, etc. And like if you just had something further to show. Lightroom is just more of just changing, if you wanted to mess up or mess with the lighting of your image. And so what you would do is you would click continue. And this is my favorite part. So you would put like the project of your title. You have to do that. And these are all your hashtags. But okay, so it was 10 keywords. I thought it was just 5. And what tools you used. So let's just say I did the same thing with the Canon camera, or like, let's say I made this rose. I did not, for the record. You could click graphic design and advertising. But this one right here, it says view all fields. And this you can get a little more in depth. These are the same creative fields that you can use to post jobs on the job board, as well as getting freelance information. So I would familiarize myself with these, because you'll be surprised of what you can actually do, or what would count for your skill set, because sometimes it's just a matter of keywords.
So Roxanne, I know we've given them a lot of information at this point.
Yes.
And so I'd like to, depending on the job seekers, this might be a software that we want to do additional videos on. So we can kind of
Sure.
dig in deeper and show people the different parts, because there are so many different pieces to it. But what I think the message I want to make sure that job seekers get is, this is the new online way to keep your portfolio, and it is completely free at this point, right, Roxanne?
Yes, and you never have to pay for it. You just have to sign an account, and with Behance, that's it. It's all free otherwise.
That are job seekers and also are doing freelance work, which a lot of graphic designers, public relations people, engineers, a ton of people in that more visual space do tons of freelance work. This is a place for your work to get noticed. And you have a profile, and if you've done a great job like Roxanne of linking it back to your LinkedIn profile, there's a really easy way there for them to connect with you, as well as on your other social media. So it can help build all those for you, and maybe in addition, get you some great freelance work, and hopefully even help you find a job.
Yes.
Roxanne, you have done amazing with all of your work out here on Behance. And so I hope if job seekers, if you're interested and would like more information and data, then Roxanne and I will get back together, and we will do some videos kind of targeting in on how you can create and maximize this Behance software to really help you out. Does that sound okay, Roxanne?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to.
You are so giving of your time. Thank you so much for being willing to share this information. As I said, job seekers, if you have questions, put them in the comments below. Roxanne and I will get together because I'm sure there'll be ones that I can't answer. She is the public relations specialist, not me. But we'll go through and get answers for all of those questions for you as well. All right, everyone. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you next time.